Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Token Metrics Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money, whether the Fed hikes rates or doesn't, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts, ding, and if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up. All right, let's welcome everybody on the stream. Sheldon says 7 rate hikes, Bill, break it down. All right. Troy says, tell me something good. Somebody says time to invest. Aiken's giving me notorious love. Taz, how you doing? All right. A lot of other people on the stream. Hello. All right. Market wanted a 25 basis point hike. Okay. Magic Mather, the Jasmine guy. Welcome. Jasmine in the house. I've actually got that in the PowerPoint today. We have the Dominican Republic. All right. Jersey in the house. Georgia. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Right. We have, we have Steve J in the house. We have the UPS man on vacation. Welcome. All right. Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner. Akash wants to know, is this pump any good? We're going to go into that. Montreal, Chicago. I did say short gold and long crypto 24 hours ago, my man. Good trade for you. Excellent. All right. Toronto. All right. Now, let's kick into your market update because I know people are itching to get some information with the Fed. All right. So as we talked about yesterday, I think our friend on the stream had a more direct call, but we did discuss the idea of this thing pumping, right? Just because people were too bearish and it just looks like that's the trade that they wanted to do. So Powell tried to sound very confident, but very questionable. This is true. So here's what Jerome Powell told us. He said, I'm going to raise rates 7 times. So I'm going to fight inflation at every meeting until further notice. Okay, I'm just going to hike and hike and hike. Now, that's good on the one hand, but if he does that, he'll probably wind up over hiking. And the next narrative that the market's going to be into is Powell going to create a recession? Right. So somebody wants to be short dollar, long BTC. I don't blame you. So has the combination of the sanctions, right, and probably a Federal Reserve blunder by tightening too late, waiting too long to tighten, right, then over tightening while inflation runs out of control and growth slows. What does this mean for crypto? Well, in the short term, it's bullish, at least for today and tomorrow, right? And don't blow it off. This is March 16th. This could be a powerful move, right? A lot of FOMO probably into the close and then overnight tomorrow morning possibly as well, right? Because people are really, really going to want to FOMO in. All right. So as a reminder, if you need to make money in crypto, Token Metrics for Women's History Month is giving you 10% off lifetime. So that means if you sign up and don't cancel, you will have 10% off for the rest of your subscription. WIC10 is the coupon code. Let's begin with interest rates. So somebody wanted to be, short gold, long Bitcoin. Here's why that worked. This is 30-year long bond interest rates. So 30-year interest rates are their own beast, right? If the Fed hikes rates, okay, these interest rates will go higher. If the Fed hikes too much, or if there's an expectation inflation will top, then 30-year bond rates will actually go down. So 30-year bonds hit a hidden pivot target at 250. And then when we look at the 7 to 10-year Treasury bond ETF, so the first one was interest rates. So if interest rates top, bond prices can go up. And lo and behold, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner in IEF, you'll see a 13 bottom. Now, a couple weeks ago, before the invasion, we sounded the alarm because it looks like bonds wanted to do better, right? So bonds did better. Everybody got scared about the invasion, and then people got even more scared about inflation. What did that do? Well, it looks like it may have created a bottom in bonds. Now, if there's a bottom in bonds, there's 2 points to make. One, okay, we have to worry less about the 2018 repeat, right? Because whatever damage is being done with interest rates for the short term, it may have been done already, at least when it comes to long-term bonds. So I don't know that crypto has to freak out about rising interest rates because there's a 13 bottom on the bond chart, right? Bond prices and bond interest rates are at resistance. If you look at TLT, which is the long bond ETF, you see the same thing, right? You see a 13 bottom yesterday, and you see a huge bullish engulfing pattern for today. So bonds up, rates down, Bitcoin up. Okay. So if you're like, hey, why is the market rallying? The market's rallying because the bond market is currently more worried about recession, or at least is starting to get worried about recession rather than inflation. The Fed's going to take care of inflation, or so they think. And then they're going to take care of it to such a degree that it's going to create slower economic growth. Now, equities are up because, I don't know, when it's rainy, equities are up. When it's sunny, equities are up. Equities are just up, right? So equities, I think, like it because interest rates, at least long-term interest rates, fell and people were just too bearish. So if 43.48 is resistance in S&P futures, all right, that probably means equities are out of gas. If equities just keep going, they can go to 44.20. Crypto can run as long as equities can run, right? If equities are not upset by the Fed stopping inflation by possibly creating a recession, why should crypto be, right? So equities are higher, right? I'm skeptical because every time anybody FOMOs into equities, they've really gotten hurt, right? So equities haven't gone down, but it hasn't paid to buy strength. So I'm guessing you got 1 or 2 days of upside in crypto before any possible reality check in stocks. But for the moment, it's okay. All right, so here's the Bitcoin short-term tactical look. So this is after the Federal Reserve meeting on March 16th. So the way I would draw it on a 45-minute chart, right? Yes, I know what you're thinking. Wow, is this thing so range bound? We're down to 45-minute charts? The answer is yes, we are. Okay. So we have 40,900 as a key technical point. Now, if Bitcoin takes out 40,900, right, it can go to 43, right? There's all that resistance between 42 and 44. So if they're just going to stop everyone out and move everyone in and everybody's going to just moon it, then they're going to just moon it, right? Now, if it fails at 40,900, I would think twice, okay? Now, a sort of different angle on Bitcoin. Remember, Russians just shipped a huge amount of Bitcoin to the UAE, and it's not clear whether that Bitcoin is going to get sold, all right, or whether it's going to be used for real estate. Now, again, as we talked about yesterday, if I was on the trading desk that was on the receiving end of that Bitcoin and I knew I had to sell it, what would I do? Well, I would just buy it. I would just pump it so hard that I would try to get everybody FOMOing in so I could sell and distribute the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin may be going up because interest rates are going down. Bitcoin may be going up because stocks are going up. And Bitcoin may be going up because people who have to sell are actually pumping it so they can sell. All right. So that'll give you a solid 2-day rally in Bitcoin. I'm assuming today into tomorrow morning at a minimum. Okay. Ethereum, a slight twist. So Ethereum has already kind of broken out of its little intraday formation. Okay. Um, you know, it's getting above 27.22, and that can lead to 28.34. All right. So somebody is asking me, is that speculation, or do you know that this is actually happening? So CNBC reported that Bitcoin has been shipped from Russia to the UAE for either purchase of real estate or for sale. We don't know which. We don't know which. Okay. Um, how do they pump it? Well, we don't know. Again, I'm speculating because it seems like everyone is looking to buy all at once, right? Shorts are covering, retail's piling in, and you never know what over-the-counter desks are doing. You don't. So when they go to pump it, they can pump it hard. And why it pumps is less relevant, but you just have to keep in mind that we are in a new monetary order that could benefit Bitcoin, or there could be a big seller out there. We'll find out. Now, in the meantime, Ethereum is doing well, right? Ethereum is too cheap relative to where bond market inflation statistics are. We've discussed this. I was not interested in selling Ethereum at 2,500, and I don't even think I'm interested in selling Ethereum unless there's a failed rally. So if you get a failed rally and it falls below 2,600, okay, then we have to talk about a problem in Ethereum. Otherwise, Ethereum might gap up to 28.34 because that's the next hidden pivot level on a 45-minute chart. So in Ethereum, as in all coins, your enemy is a failed rally. So if I get off this call and the rally fails and it's below 2,600 on March 16th, you have a problem. If it's above 27.22, then who knows? They could moon it today or tomorrow and stop out every single short, because I don't understand why Ethereum is this low to begin with, honestly. Okay. Rune. All right. Cross-chain DeFi, do your own research, not investment advice, but we've been on this coin for a while. Actually, our podcast guy was on this when we interviewed Red Phone Crypto, and we looked at this and we're like, wow, this thing can go up a lot. So if Rune is holding $7.03, it can go to 870. Our artificial intelligence is now picking up on this uptrend. Again, another reason to subscribe to tokenmetrics.com. Okay, Phantom kind of stuck our neck out yesterday and talked about a bottom in Phantom at 104. And I got that along with our friend who was talking about being short gold and long Bitcoin. So it's like team market update here, really doing some good stuff. Now, to take a break, someone is asking me, Bill, what does the flattening of the yield curve tell us? Okay, well, when there's really no difference between 2-year interest rates and 10-year interest rates, that means the yield curve is flat. What does that mean? Well, it means that the legacy bond market is somewhat concerned about a recession, right? In other words, that the Fed may wind up hiking rates too much, right? And, inflation is a very scary thing, but now so is recession. So bond market is flashing red on recession. What does that mean for equities? Well, I don't know. In the short term, it's equities up. Long term, don't know. All right. So, Phantom may have bottomed at $1.04. Okay. Steve is also noting that Aave is much higher. Hopefully what we said about Aave was constructive. We'll get to that in a minute. Right. Okay. So Jasmine, look at this thing go, right? We were talking about this thing holding at 16 cents yesterday. It did. Now, if it holds above 20, I'm sorry, not 16, 0.016. And if it holds above 0.012, it can go to 0.025. So you've got yourself like a 2-day alt season ramp in some of these smaller coins. GMT, something people are looking at, kind of like Axie Infinity for exercise, really interesting that, one of our guys took a walk and earned $96. It's not quite that simple, but it is powerful and it is triggering some FOMO. So above 49 cents, it can lead to 71. Currently, our research team is poring over this, trying to figure out if this project is in fact the real deal. But it is interesting because it connects sneaker NFTs to exercise. So it creates an incentive. Instead of play to earn, it's workout to earn. Very interesting stuff. Now, ARRR, okay, showing up in our artificial intelligence models. All right. And if you have a 2-day speculative wave, this thing could go from $1.43 to $1.62. Again, stay tuned with tokenmetrics.com indices to see how long these small coins can stay in our KuCoin daily index. Okay. And that, for the moment, is the market update. Now, of course, we're going to have to check what's going on with the market. So Atman is asking, is Alpha still a 100x pick? Probably not. Okay, unless they develop a DeFi order book. I'm sorry, an NFT order book technology. So long term, I think Alpha's got a lot of competition, and the only way to make money is to stake it and hope that they can come through on the technological side. But realistically, like I said, if you're looking for immediate gains, probably not going to get it. It's more of a long-term play. Okay, what did you miss in the first 5 minutes of the stream? Well, what you missed is the market is currently higher because the Federal Reserve switched the focus from inflation, which they say they're going to fight, to the point where the markets are now worried about a recession. So that creates lower interest rates for the moment, all right, and higher crypto. Because there's nothing worse for crypto than higher interest rates, all right? Now, let's take a look at some of the requests that we've got, all right? Okay, so I'm going to pull up the system. Looks like people have been commenting away there, and we appreciate that. Please hit the like button, right? If you like the content, right? We do stuff on requests, and we're definitely happy to help you out. Okay, biggest surprise today, LimeWire is working with Algorand. Okay, so let's share the screen, go to the DeMark work. And let's get a look at, let's start with Algorand, right? Since I know someone is going to ask. So let's see what that's doing. Talked about Algorand needing a fundamental catalyst. Okay, so like a lot of these small coins, the question is, will people be willing to pay higher prices? It looks like in Algorand, the upside target is 78 cents. Okay, someone's going to ask about Aave, so let me just handle that right now. This is the 4-hour chart of Aave, right? And this is very typical of what we've seen in crypto, right? You have a 13 bottom, right? Then you get a huge rally into a 9 top. So there's not a whole lot of resistance here, maybe until 145. But obviously, if you were able to get it below 120, all right, the 9 top is telling you to start taking your money, right? So great trade for anybody who held on. Hopefully, I gave you the right advice there. Now, just as a point of amusement, Sushi, the coin I hate to love, right, is back at resistance at 314. I wish it would go through there. Now, Near Protocol, which I know someone's going to ask about as well. Okay, this is the 4-hour chart. All right, Near is taking out resistance at 1053, right? And if we go to a daily chart, okay, Near could be on the move. So somebody was asking, when is ETH going to lead the breakout in layer ones? Okay, you have to think to yourself, this whole thing in Near right here could be a giant base. All right. So if this market's going to take off for anywhere from 1 day to a week, Near up 6%, maybe something to look at because of the fundamentals behind that coin. Okay. Yeah. Jasmine blowing people's minds. Let's see what's going on with Jasmine. Okay. Some guy called in and asked about that. And I'm like, wow, people were giving up on that. It was painful to watch. Okay. So here's Jasmine, right? Now, obviously, people are taking profits up at 0.02, but if it holds 0.021, it can go to 0.025. Okay, somebody wants to know what's going on with Nano today. So let's check Nano. Okay, and it's just entirely possible that Nano's day has come, right? In other words, low fee transactions, right? The idea of, it, it's just time for low fee transactional currencies, right? I don't know what the exact catalyst is, okay? But, when you look at that downward sloping range that, Nano was in, right? And how they sort of killed it to new lows, and if you go to a weekly chart in Nano, let me see what kind of history I got here. I mean, it looks like it's up a lot today, but is it really? I mean, yeah, it's up 32%. My one of my colleagues, guy I used to work with, really likes this. This thing used to trade at 13, and it's a really new, innovative form of money. So if you look at Nano on a weekly chart, okay, there's more room for it to go up. I mean, anything up 35% in one day, that's a lot. Okay. And I don't know, it doesn't always pay to FOMO into these markets. But if there is a dip, right? If there is a dip, it may pay to get involved, right? Because this is one of these things where, you got to remember the other thing about Nano is, it's been down here for a while. You'd be like, well, it's up 30%. Yeah, but it's back where it was in middle of February. So really, with Nano, nothing has changed. Nothing. Okay. And then, if you have all these energy consuming proof of work currencies, eventually, this was going to take off. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go to Metaverse because somebody's asking about Sandbox. Let's go to Metaverse and check that out. So I talked about this, but I didn't pound the table on it enough. Okay. So you had the 13 bottom in Sandbox, right? I think on the daily chart, it was doing nothing, but you had that 13 bottom 2 days ago. So the 13 bottom in DeMark, I swear to God, it's like priceless. And I don't think a lot of people in crypto are looking at it. When you get these bottoms, like even in Decentraland on the 4-hour chart, you get it. And sometimes you have to wait a day or two, but you get this nice ramp. Now, Decentraland might go up to 250 if they really pump it. Okay. Sandbox is taking out resistance at 306. Okay. I mean, a 9 top is coming, but you don't know how far it can blow off before that happens. I would say the next point in Sandbox is 325. That's on the daily chart. So, the next point you have to reevaluate Sandbox, okay, is at 325. Okay. Being told that the next president of South Korea is all in on crypto, right? We have had shows about crypto as a part of the new monetary order. That trade was going to get done. Okay. Now with Luna, okay, we're looking for Luna to get back above 92. All right. Now I don't have that on this current chart, but what I do have is good support at 87. So if you're super bullish Luna and you just want to take a shot, then take a shot at 87. All right. Me personally, I would rather see it above 92 before I FOMO'd in. Okay. All right. Now we got somebody asking for Crow. Crypto.com. Okay. Crypto.com. There's your 13 bottom on the daily chart and then the ensuing rally. So 50 cents is possible, right? You can't blow off every time you get any of these 9 bottoms. I mean, even this 9 bottom in Crow was not very exciting, right? It only went up to 45 cents, but this could go on for a day or two, right? So you're probably going to have really intense FOMO into the close, and you may have even more FOMO in the Asia morning. Okay. So let's take a look at Perp. That's another heartbreaker altcoin. Okay, I'm pretty sure we were looking for the 13 bottom in perp. So there's the 13 bottom, and now we got to decide, okay, are we brave enough to get long against support at 343, looking for a rally to 646, right? I say leave it because I've seen perp do better even when the market doesn't do so well. So perp bounced off perfect support at 373. I say give it a chance. Salam says he's back in. Can I look at render? Yes, conveniently. I'm got that right here pulled up for you. So render has the 13 and the 9 bottom from a couple of days ago, right? And honestly, there's not a whole lot in the way, right? And I have to fess up that I was not bullish enough. I saw the metaverse on support, right? And I was like, well, I think what I said was, don't be surprised if they take the highly speculative altcoins and ramp them before and maybe even after the Fed, because that catches everyone off guard. Now, with render, you have this odd thing where you get this 13 top, but it's in a sideways motion. So, I don't know what that means for render. Honestly, I think I'd be neutral if I went back to the 4-hour chart. Okay. I think the focus here is, the resistance that you would look at is maybe 256. Okay. But, if you were long this, it's almost like if you got hosed or you were a bag holder, just let it run for a couple days and see where it stops and then evaluate your portfolio from there. Okay. All right. Somebody's chilling with their Jasmine. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got in the request list. Okay. We had somebody coming in for UBX yesterday. I don't have UBX here. Let me see if I can get UBX on this charting system. Okay. I do have it here. Okay, so undoubtedly people out there are asking, hey, when is my coin going to participate in this moonshot? Now, I think the good news for UBX is that, you've had something that we're seeing in a lot of these coins is that you had new lows in price, okay, and you had higher lows in things like RSI. So this has the potential to be kind of constructive. Right. So if this whole market, if there's a catalyst here, or if this whole market starts doing really good over the next couple of days, okay, this coin in particular could go higher. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's just do a market check to see where we are. Okay, actually, let's look at stocks, because stocks, they're just loving life right now. They're breaking through everything. All right. So 44.20 looks like the next stop. All right. 43.48 is a level to watch, right, as they complete their end of day FOMO. Now, someone wants to know what the $1.5 trillion injection means for crypto. Good question. So when you have this kind of, I don't know, when you have government spending like this, particularly in an emergency, it doesn't have a huge impact on crypto. Really, what matters for crypto is how the Fed manages printing money. Now, sometimes the government handing out money is constructive for crypto, but I think in this particular case, there are sort of other factors that mean more. Like if interest rates go down, that's good for crypto. If stocks go up, that's good for crypto. So maybe if the spending package helps stocks, that also helps crypto. But I really think crypto's working off what happens with the Fed, but it's a good question. So somebody here likes the stream. We appreciate that. Feel free to always come back. All right. Do we think FTM has 10x potential this year? Okay. Well, DeFi money is going to have to come in, and they're competing with Luna. So can Phantom bounce? Yes. Is it going to go to, is it going to go to 10? I can't possibly predict that. I would say that, if you need something to 10x because you're down on the position, all right, then I would be careful. Right? Because risk assets are going to run here. Like look at Sandbox breaking out on the 4-hour chart. Okay. Bitcoin is already at 41. So let's go back to Bitcoin because I got distracted. Right? Definitely love answering your questions. Okay. Bitcoin at 41. All right. So Bitcoin is probably taking out whatever tactical level I had. Let's go back to this, right? It's taken out 40.9, right? Which means they can ramp this thing to 43. I mean, if people got bearish, people get stopped out, and people FOMO in, right? You're going to see 42 to 44. Now, who's up there at 42 to 44? You just, think about that. All right. But in the meantime, it's FOMOsaurus, right? People are just all over it. Right. And again, we talked about this, right? We talked about, how uncertainty around the Fed, okay, could, be an excuse to ramp things when people weren't looking. Now, also, don't forget, Mr. Putin is going to counter, right? Mr. Putin does not want to see the stock market going up. He doesn't. So be careful about Russian defaults or Russian escalations. Just be careful. All right. That means if you make a crap ton of money in the next 2 or 3 days, take it. Okay, so Orion, right, has to really get above 0.29, 0.297, or basically 0.3. Now, the good news is it held. This is a little bit like Jasmine, right? It mooned, they dropped it, but it started coming back. It started coming back. So, if you want to be hopeful here, you can be. But realistically, in order to get a moonshot going, it's got to take out, this is the 8-hour chart, it's got to take out 0.297. Okay. All right, let's go to API 3. Let's check that out. A lot of people coming in looking at the metaverse today. They were pumped up about the metaverse. Okay, they were pumped up about the metaverse on our Token Metrics Premium group call today. All right, so API 3, all right, 13 bottom, right, into support at 454, and now it looks like it could turn around and go to 529. So, I don't know if this is a 1 day, a 2 day, or a 1 week rally. Okay, if something comes off a bottom and makes an awesome candlestick, that makes you happy. The question with good candlesticks is, do you get follow through? Right? Do people want to pay higher prices? Now, if people want to pay higher prices, then guess what? This 1 day rally could turn into a 3 day rally. Okay. In API 3, here's the 9 bottom. Okay. They tried to push it down, but they couldn't hold it. So there could be a spring back up here, right? Whatever caused them to ramp it, right? It could be a little bit of a bump. Now, should you expect another moonshot like this? I don't know. Right? Because it looks like everybody had a bunch of profits and then didn't take them. But like I said, it can participate in the 2 day rally. Okay, RMRK. By the way, folks, if you like the content, please hit the like button, right? That helps us. It helps me help you. Okay, so RMRK, Metaverse. Actually, let's just go to the Metaverse watch list because it looks like everyone is very into Metaverse today, with Sandbox up 14%. Okay. So RMRK, okay, does have that flavor where it wants to like reverse hard. Okay. So, if we want to dream a big dream, let's draw something on the RMRK 4-hour chart. So if you want to dream the big dream, okay, I would say the fact that RMRK is taking out $13.40. Okay. Right. It can go up to $17.96 if the rally holds. Now, I know that everyone out there is like foaming at the mouth to get involved in this. And that's okay. You can do that because if we're going to have a party in speculative assets that lasts 2 or 3 days, well, carry on. If you make the money, I say take the money, right? And if you've got losses, right, In other words, if RMRK takes out 1550, right? That's where the give up trade started from. That's where people were just like, oh, I'm packing it in on this. If you can take out 1550, it can go to 1796. Okay. All right. People are just like, comp is not worth talking about. Well, everything is worth talking about, folks. Everything is worth talking about. This is a stream where we're looking to help you make money in crypto, right? So when it comes to comp, right, you're going to see a very familiar picture. Okay. Now, comp has gotten to resistance at $1.10 with 2 DeMark 9 tops. So in these kind of coins, when you get a move from like 100 or 98 to 110, sometimes you have to take the money. You have to take the money because there's a lot of resistance up here. So I'm not saying this is terrible. And of course, if it actually ever broke out, right, if it actually did take out 110, right, it could go up a lot. So, I mean, if you look at the daily chart, right, I mean, here's the 13 bottom, right? There was a rally and then a puke. But, honestly, this is right back where it was on March 9th. It's come right back. Okay. So, if you were long this, you're like, okay, well, I know resistance. I know where resistance is, right? I know it's at 110. And I know, like here, that if it tries to get through it and fails, then I probably got to just take my money. Okay. All right. Let's make sure I cleared all of the other. We had somebody asking for AIOZ. All right. We appreciate it if you hung on and waited. Okay. Okay. Wow. This thing's moving above. This thing's moving. All right. So let's draw some levels on this. We'll label it on a 4-hour chart and see what we get. So, all right. So let's just say that this pumpathon continues, right? In order to get really excited, it's got to be above 0.24. Okay. If it does, it can go to 0.31. Okay, that's if people are getting really excited. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind in all these altcoins, right? People are excited, all right? It's taken out big points. The question is, like I said, right, can this continue? I would have wanted to see more price action, or actually check that. All right, I think it's a good sign. Like I said, if AIOZ can get back above, say, 0.24. So there's 2 technical levels here. So if it's above 0.24, it can keep going. It can keep going, right? But if it's not above 0.24, then you could be looking at a retracement to 0.20. All right. So if you got long it and, you're like, okay, well, I want to ride it as much as I can, then maybe the trailing stop is at 0.20. Okay. All right. We have Taz looking for some help on AVAX. I've got that on the layer 1 chart. Most likely AVAX is just breaking everybody's heart. Okay. So on the daily chart, I have 76.31. So AVAX has to take that out to get going. That's what I've got on the daily chart. On the intraday chart, on the 4-hour chart, the good news is it's staying above 72.50. So if AVAX stays above 72.50, you can be hopeful for more upside. All right. But obviously, I'm sure AVAX holders are disappointed that everything else is up like 5% today and Avalanche is not outperforming. Okay. Joshua says, yes, Nano is pumping. The day may have come when low fee, hot, speed transaction speed and energy efficiency is back. Nano has traded at much higher prices in the past. So just because it's up 30% today, really all it's probably doing is unwinding the puke it had before this whole, for this whole awful war thing started. Okay, Matic, a layer 2 solution, right, is forming a base. Now, can Matic get to $1.65? All right, I don't know. Okay, that's where resistance is. Obviously, this looks like a bottom if you look at a daily chart. Okay, so here was the 13 bottom, and then you had to sit through all of this. So sometimes these coins, they bore you to death, right? Now, is Matic a case where you're going to get killed? No. But if the rally goes beyond 2 days, Matic could be something where you make money. So if you have a fast mover, right, you may take profits in the fast mover. And then if you want to put something in a slower mover so that you don't get killed if this thing turns sour, right? Don't underestimate what Matic can do, because DeFi on ETH with the layer 2 revolution that's coming is something that that needs to be in the top of mind. Okay, top of mind, because layer 2 season, according to somebody I follow who I respect in DeFi, will be the next big thing. Okay, ORN on the daily chart, 13 bottom, moon, okay, back down again, and then, shoots up. So it looks like bag holders are definitely selling this every time it goes up. Now, that said, if it holds support at $3.06, it can go higher. Okay, it can go higher. Steve J says, remember to pay yourself. Can Sol turn around? Okay, I have to look at Sol over here. Okay, anything can turn around. The question is for how long? Okay, for how long? Okay, so it looks like we were drawn on this previously. Okay, right. Now I think the big technical level is right here, right? It's at $1.23. I think I drew this yesterday. So if Sol can take that level out, okay, then it can recover, right? In Elliott wave, that would be the previous fourth, or in English, right? This is where the give up trade started from. So when the give up trade comes right there, it starts there, right? Sol's got to take that out in order to go higher. They tried to get up there, right? But the sellers beat it back down again. So I don't know, folks. The bulls and the bears just got to pound it out. All right. So someone's asking about Solana, right? Another total heartbreaker. Okay, so Solana is like, I think I can, back up to $89. Frankly, you can still see people selling it. Like, nobody wants to sell it. Nobody wants to buy it at 90, and no one wants to sell it at 80. Okay, there are a lot of DeMark bottoming signals in Solana, and it could go to 95. So if Bitcoin leads everybody out of the hole, and this has like a 2-day, absolutely, massive short covering rally, right? You have NASDAQ stocks finishing up 3% on the day. That's QQQ. Okay. You have S&P, all right, just absolutely smoking to the upside, right? A huge green candle there, right? And Bitcoin is at 41,300 after wicking down to its moving average system. All right. Compound rally. We looked at Compound earlier. It's at resistance, but there's no reason to give up on it right now. Give it a day. Give it at least a day. Right. Okay. Kusama, people pouring in now. Right. Somebody's saying, look at the 200 period moving average on a 4-hour chart. Okay. That's also an interesting strategy. Right. This is an open-minded show, right? And we are open to what people have to say. So we have $143.90 in Kusama as a possible upside target. Now let's head over here. Let's look at Kusama over here on a 4-hour chart, and let's pull that 200-day moving average up. Okay, so it's not a 200-day moving average. Okay, it's a 204-hour bar moving average, right? So it's the last 200 bars on a 4-hour chart. Now, You're like, Bill, I don't understand that. Why would you do that? Well, or why would the person who suggested it do that? Okay. Well, that's because, first of all, not everybody is looking at that. A lot of times, when you see things that not everyone's looking at in technical analysis, they can work pretty good. Okay. So this is a 4-hour chart. And this is the moving average that our friend is referring to. So we definitely appreciate him helping us out with this. I'm going to label it in red, okay, and thicken it up so you can see it. So part of his thesis is, which is interesting, that if you look at a 4-hour chart, right, this 4-hour, the downtrend has been so sharp in many altcoins that, say, if Kusama takes out 136, okay, so maybe on your trading view, you go to a 4-hour chart, and like, okay, well, I don't know what to do, and I don't have a lot of DeMark work. Well, if it breaks 136, all right, now, I mean, it could go up because look what happened up here. Like when it couldn't get back above this moving average, it collapsed. So, this is a valid way to look at the market. Let me just label this. This is the Kusama 4-hour chart, right? Kusama 4-hour chart. And this is I'm going to label this the 200 bar moving average. Okay. In Kusama, it's at 136. Okay. Okay. Okay, somebody's asking for XRP. Weekly chart looks like a bottom. Let's check it out. And I will tell you this, boy, those XRP guys, they are motivated. Okay. So here is your XRP weekly chart. Okay. Is this a bottom? I don't know. But what I do notice is that XRP had kind of a chance to go up, right? But everybody is selling it at 90 cents. Now, again, people sold it here at $1. 1, 2. This time it couldn't even get to $1 3 times. This is XRP weekly. Okay, our AI picked up on this for like a day or two. Okay. I don't blame anybody for wanting to do this because this is like nano, right? You can just wake up one day and this idea of speed, low transaction fees, the government's got bigger problems. We don't know what a jury's going to do with this. So for these guys who are hodling this coin, also on a weekly chart, trend lines don't always work in crypto. Sometimes the ones that are outside the box work best. Now, these flat triangles, I don't know, Peter Brandt on Twitter, I believe is his name. These aren't always bullish, but what happens is the closer XRP gets to this neckline, this apex of this triangle, I mean, it's got a while to go, right? Maybe out to May or June, but the closer XRP gets, the more violent the breakout's going to be. Okay. Someone's asking, do I have any idea on what the BLZ ceiling is? Okay, so here comes the daily chart on BLZ. Okay, so it looked like an important reversal here. Okay, and then if there's a third up day, you need like one more up day to confirm that some sort of reversal has happened. That's how I would do it. Okay. Is the Polygon sandbox token swappability a big deal? Well, I don't know, but obviously with sandbox trading, what it's done today, okay, you have to actually ask yourself, are people underweight the metaverse? Did people blow off the metaverse because it was highly speculative? The answer is yes. Okay, so here's VRA on the 4-hour chart. So you get the moonshot with everything else. And the question is, are people going to want to buy it, in front of all this resistance? Okay, you got resistance. Okay, it's not giving me the perfect scale. All right, now, obviously on a daily chart, all of these sort of charts, they're very similar. Okay, all of these altcoins, the way you can draw them is that this can go to like the moon and beyond, because how many times have they sold it down here, right? How many times? They've sold it down here a lot. So this is just one up day, right, when this thing's lost half its value. Now, it hasn't paid to FOMO in on big green candles. It didn't pay here, and it didn't pay here. But, if you were holding this, right, I would say, give it another day, right? If there's a geopolitical event, well, I don't know, then it's going to make a new low. But for the moment, right, just stay with it and see what happens. Now, if it does go back up and you are a bag holder, reevaluate, right? Like the guys in Aave, at $1.20, everybody was bearish. And now at $1.40, everybody was bullish. Okay. So, bag holders in Aave got to get out, at basically, kind of like almost pre-invasion levels, right? Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's just see where we are here. So ETH is hanging out. Bitcoin's hanging out above 41,000. Okay. Someone's asking, Megan, did I miss Nano? Okay. I did look at Nano earlier, but I can look at it again. All right. So I think the important thing to remember about Nano is this. Nano is up 40% today, and people are probably like, I missed it. But you're getting dips. And Nano was at this level in early February, right? In other words, this puke here, this was a give-up trade. This whole puke down was this was like, I give up. And then they did this bullish downward sloping range in Nano. Right? You know how I'm always giving the lecture about bullish downward sloping ranges? Okay. Where I go, all right, they kill it, right? And then they push it down and they push it down. It's like a sort of what I call a football, maybe in Europe, right? Or a soccer ball in the US. You push it down, you're in a pool underneath the water. It takes effort to push it down because it's inflated. Then when you let go, the ball not only pops to the top, okay, not only to the surface, but it pops up, right? Because there was so much pressure holding it down. Once you release the pressure, it just flies. So everybody in Nano gave up. There was the downward sloping range. And we did talk about this, right? The fact that, there was this huge divergence. This whole set of new lows was unconfirmed. So, people who believe in this are going to start buying dips. Right? They're going to buy dips and stuff like this. When you get a breakout in something that has like a use case like this, right? People are just going to start buying dips, right? And if you're into this and you've been hodling it, just leave it. Just leave it, right? So what? It goes back down to $2 and retests the top of this line. So what? So what? Right? Something, regardless of whether the market goes way up, right, or is neutral, which it might be, right? Remember, Bitcoin and Ethereum, if it goes way up, it's paid to sell. When it goes way down, it's paid to buy. That may continue. You may be looking at 2 more weeks of that. That behavior is kind of like, it's like bacteria in a petri dish. You stick the bacteria in there and it just multiplies. Price action can multiply. It can stay a certain way. If it's trending, it can keep trending. If it's ranging, it can keep ranging. Okay. So, all right. BLX for the swing traders. Okay. BLX for the swing traders. Okay, I'm not seeing BLX right here. Okay, let's see what else we got going on. We have strong. Let's see if I can do strong. Okay, everybody getting busy on KuCoin these days. Okay, they're strong on KuCoin, right? All right. Clearly, everybody just gave up in this thing, right? This was the reversal candle. Okay, and this thing was probably way far away from its alligator moving averages. So you probably need maybe like one more up day, right? One more up day before this thing confirms that a bottom might be in. Let's just look at an intraday chart and label it, right? So people watching the video know what I'm talking about, okay? So this is the 4-hour chart of strong. All right. Now, one thing you can do that our friend suggested from earlier, right? Look at where the 200 period moving average is in this thing. Look how beaten down this is. In other words, sometimes with these longer term moving averages, you know, like if this thing went bananas, right? If everybody was short, everybody was out, right? And the Russians can't do anything to stop the rally. I don't know. You could go crazy and this thing could go to 260. Now, I don't want to make people mental because honestly, you know, it has to take out. There's a lot of resistance in this zone, right? And realistically, in order to get stupid bullish, you know, you'd have to take out 223. All right. But this is trading like something that's reversing. Look at these Williams moving averages, right? They went from bullish, they went from bearish, and they're starting to go bullish. So, you know, don't get in front of these speculative altcoins for the next couple of days. Now, someone's asking about Polkadot. The big question in Polkadot is, do you have to get out? In other words, you suffered with this at 15. All right. Now, this is the 4-hour chart of Polkadot. There's a lot of resistance at 19, and there's a 13 top here. So I would say if Polkadot can't get itself about 1928, above 1928, rather, okay, it can be time to exit, right? It can be time to exit. Now, that said, let's look at the daily chart because I'm sure Polkadot on a daily chart has a different look. So if you've been suffering with Polkadot, you're like, you know what, Bill, I don't want to get out. I don't want to sell. You know what? I don't blame you. Okay, it's got to take out resistance, but I mean, look at this base. Polkadot has done nothing for how long? Now, it has not paid to buy big green candles. Big green candle down, big green candle down, big green candle up, then down big. Okay, so yes, if you want to be a believer, if you've been suffering, right? This is the theme. If you've been suffering, you want to hang out and wait. But, you know, if you're hosed in this thing and, you know, you're like, wow, when the war started, right, this thing, I saw this thing disappear and I want to get out and reallocate capital. All right. Polkadot is very interesting. It's very sort of underappreciated, but somebody's got to prove that somebody wants to pay $20 or more to get it. Okay. Right. Steve J is saying, just remember, right, you know, Bitcoin is not attached to a central bank. Okay. Here's ETH versus Bitcoin, right? Also at the bottom end of a range, right? Aiken says, when you say sell in May and go away, what that means we have approximately 45 to 60 days as of right now for a major rally or else. All right. Good question. So when I talk about sell in May and go away, right, that means that probably in May, you're going to start seeing, I would imagine, negative geopolitical catalysts. And you may also, which means flat out, outright shooting war, cyber or otherwise, right? In other words, that situation is not going away and will probably escalate, you know, starting in April and then really escalate in May. All right. I don't want to like get everybody upset because we're on an up day. So when this thing goes up, it goes up, you take your money. right? You get the money, you pay yourself. You get long, you got long 2 days ago. Somebody got long Bitcoin, short gold. You make the money, you take the money. That's it. Okay. In other words, it goes up, you sell it. It goes down, you buy it. That's the best you can do. Now, will a downtrend start later? It'll probably start in stocks. So sell in May and go away is for equities. Now, how will Bitcoin react? Well, I'm assuming that Bitcoin somewhere in this year, it may follow stocks, but after Bitcoin, if there is a big down move, Bitcoin will be a buy. The new monetary order is going to benefit crypto. The question is, can you either make money trading or stay the F out of the way, not get chopped up, not get caught holding bags, so that when there is a huge opportunity, like in Nano, right? Nano's a good example. They killed it. They gave up on it. You woke up one day and it was up 30%. You may get a chance to do that in Bitcoin or Ethereum in, say, I don't know, October. Yeah, that's a million years away because this is on March 16th. Okay. But when I'm talking about these, these bigger picture things, the most important thing for you is to have capital when it happens, right? So if you got something that the coin is no good anymore and you're just running on hope, well, and if it goes up for 3 days or a week, then make a different decision. Allocate capital somewhere else, put it on the sidelines, put it somewhere where you think you can, get the most out of it. The most important asset that you have is your sanity. If you don't have your sanity, you're not going to survive a world with rampant inflation and war. Okay? All right. Now, DOT is one of the biggest cryptos being accumulated by VCs and whales. Right now, the counter to what I was saying about DOT is if DOT blows through 20, it could mean that speculation in crypto is back. Because after all, Polkadot is not active, right? It's not turned on yet, so to say. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, I don't have BGB on this. Oh, I do. All right, so I can tell that we've got a lot of altcoin holders in the audience, right? Okay, so here's a 4-hour chart. This is actually rather interesting. So let's see what we got here. All right, so in BGB, right, you would get pumped up if it took out $20.38. Bring that back. Okay, you would get pumped up. Okay, 0.023, 0.203, sorry. Okay, that's BGB. Okay, and note how this is above its 200 bar moving average on that 4-hour chart. Okay, folks, I got to wrap it up today. All right, I did not cover Rune. I did I covered it. Let's say goodbye with Rune. Let's see where that is on the chart here. See how it's doing. Okay, that's oil. Okay, so Rune on the 4-hour chart hanging tough, right? It's bouncing off that resistance at 703. Okay, so if we want to dream the big dream in Rune, okay, the next target that you'd want to see taken out is 781. Okay, if Rune takes out 781, this could be an indication it's headed for like 870 and possibly 10. Now, again, not investment advice. Do your own research. Okay. We think Rune is interesting. Okay. For a lot of reasons, but there are risks involved with this coin. So as we've seen with Rune, there's been this really steady uptrend, right? And this has been kind of the one coin in the one coin world, meaning, it's like a one coin market. So, with that, I'm going to leave you with that. Okay. So this is March 16th after the Fed. Keep in mind, Fed moves are weird, and expect to see Mr. Putin at some point. They will escalate. They will escalate off this. Okay. Okay. There's somebody who's looking for Spell. Let me get Spell up here quickly. One final request. Okay. Okay. So here's the 4-hour chart of Spell. Again, there's taking it up. And it looks like, everybody is looking to sell on any rally. Let's look at Spell over here one more time. Okay, so on a 4-hour chart, there's not a lot going on. Let's see what's going on a daily. All right, so in Spell, you can make an argument that this thing got so far away from some of its moving averages that these stalemate candles, right? These stalemate candles here give this a shot. This is unbelievable here, how they ramped it up, but buyers are coming in. So they took it up, right? But people came in green. The last time they took it up and dropped it, they kept dropping it, right? But bulls are showing up here. So if you're long this, there's some hope. All right. We appreciate everybody out there. Thanks for tuning in. Right. I know I'm coming to you from a remote location today. Now let's go over what we talked about today. Let's go over it. So probably a 24-hour rally in Bitcoin and ETH. So March 16th, probably like 6 o'clock Eastern time, right? The next, say, 8 hours, probably constructive for crypto. Right? I don't recommending FOMOing in if you missed a rally, right? If you got long when, say, ETH gets to 2,800 or if Bitcoin ramps all the way up to 42, that's trader profit taking. Altcoins on a longer term basis, okay? That's your Runes. Maybe Nano is in that group now. There's stuff that you can hold as long as the trend is your friend. Now, if the trend has not been your friend and you've got something and you're suffering with it and you get a really nice rally, you got to ask yourself over the next 5 days, do I need to get this money out? Right? Don't smoke opium. Take advantage of the rally, right? Ride bullish crypto, right? Especially if equities continue to go up. So ride the wave. It lasts a day, it lasts a week, but manage your capital and your risk accordingly. Okay? That's it for today, folks. I'm your host, Bill Noble. We will be back here tomorrow with another market update for you.